The rain wasn't just falling, it was punishing the city, drumming on rusted metal and broken glass like it had a personal grudge. Elena pressed her back against the brick wall beneath the fire escape, letting the narrow overhang take the worst of it. Water still found her, sliding down her neck, soaking the cuffs of her coat, turning her boots into cold, heavy weights. She didn't care. She'd waited in worse places for worse people. The cigarette between her fingers had gone out twice already. She kept relighting it anyway, cupping the flame with shaking hands, drawing smoke she couldn't taste into lungs that felt lined with lead. Every drag was just something to do while the minutes stretched and snapped. She'd told herself 100 times on the way here that she wouldn't come. That 5 years was long enough to bury whatever was left of them. That Marco didn't deserve the piece of her he'd taken when he disappeared. But the photograph in her pocket had burned hotter than any rational argument. One creased, coffee-stained corner had worked its way out of her wallet sometime last year and refused to go back in. She'd carried it like a splinter she couldn't dig out. A bottle rolled somewhere deeper in the alley, kicked by an invisible foot. Elena's pulse jumped. She hated that it still did that, hated that her body remembered him even when her mind had spent half a decade trying to file him underfinished. Then she heard the footsteps. Not hurried, not careful, just steady, like the rain itself had decided to walk toward her wearing his boots. Marco stepped into the weak cone of light beneath the theater's back door bulb. Same jacket, cracked at the elbows now. Same way of tilting his head when he was deciding whether to smile or apologize first. The scar over his eyebrow had silvered. It looked like someone had tried to erase him and only managed a smudge. He stopped 3 paces away. Close enough that she could see the new lines around his eyes, far enough that she could still bolt if she needed to. "You're late," she said. Her voice sounded steadier than she felt. "You're still here," he answered, and the words hit her harder than they should have. She flicked the dead cigarette into the puddle at her feet. It landed with a hiss and a small surrender. "I almost didn't come, but you did." Elena reached inside her coat. Her fingers closed around the photograph, and for one dizzy second she thought about tearing it up right there, letting the pieces wash down the alley drain with the rest of the night's garbage. Instead she pulled it out and held it between them like evidence. The photograph was worse for wear. Colors bled, one corner missing where a bar spill had eaten it away years ago. But their faces were still clear, 19 and fearless, arms slung around each other on the pier the summer the city smelled like fried dough and possibility. Marcos grinned cocky, Elena's head thrown back mid-laugh, the lights of the boardwalk haloing them like they were immortal. Marco stared at it as if it might bite him. Rain slid off his lashes and dotted the glossy surface. "I kept thinking," Elena said, voice low, "if I burned this, maybe I'd finally stop wondering what the hell happened to you." He took it carefully, thumb brushing the edge like he remembered. "I stopped wondering," he said. "Then I started again. Every damn night." Thunder growled above the rooftops, felt more than heard. Elena laughed once, short, bitter, familiar. "You left without a word." "I know. You let me think you were dead for 6 months. I checked the morgue lists, Marco. I called every hospital from here to the coast." "I know." She stepped forward, closing the space until the steam of their breath mingled. "Stop saying you know." His eyes flicked up, still, that reckless glint, buried under new weight. "I was scared," he said, the confession scraping out of him like gravel. "Scared of how much I needed you. Scared you'd wake up one day and see me for what I was, a kid with a rap sheet, a mouth too big for his future, and no clue how to keep someone like you. So I ran before you could leave me first." The rain intensified, drumming harder, as if the sky wanted to drown them both for old sins. Elena felt it soak through her coat, through her shirt, straight to skin. "Idiot," she whispered. "Yeah," he said softly. "Took me 3 years alone in a city that didn't know my name to figure that out." She reached up slowly. Her fingertips found the scar, jagged reminder of the night he'd stepped between her and a broken bottle swung by someone twice his size. He didn't move as she traced it. "I'm not 19 anymore," she said. "Neither am I. Good. Because I'm done chasing ghosts." Marco slipped the photograph into his wallet, the same cracked leather he'd had at 20, and slid it into his back pocket like it belonged there. Then he held out his hand, palm up, rain pooling in the lifelines she used to read for fun on slow nights. Elena looked at it for a long, trembling moment. Water streamed off both of them, carrying 5 years of silence toward the gutter. She placed her hand in his. His fingers closed immediately, warm, certain, calloused in new places. Neither of them moved to leave the alley. The rain could fall forever, they had time to make up for. Above them, the exit sign buzzed and flickered, casting them in brief, bloody light before letting them go dark again. They stayed anyway, hands locked, letting the storm decide when the past was washed clean enough to start whatever came next. Word count: 800.